Now, I am very nervous because I'm assuming this is not a worthy experience because, like a moron, I actually looked at certain scenes of this movie called Off the Record. And by the way, that's a very stupid thing for me to do. I looked at a couple scenes. I didn't like what I saw. And I said, hey, we shouldn't
You looked at
actually.
the book's cover and you judged it.
Yes, I did judge it. There is a movie called Off the Record. It stars Rainey Qualley as Astor Grey, a rising singer-songwriter whose life takes a dark turn when she enters a turbulent romance with a rock star, a has-been rock star named Brandyn Verge, played by Ryan Hansen. And I believe Off the Record centers on possibly their whirlwind romance and whatnot. Here's the thing that I did miss out though. The standout cast includes Rebecca De Mornay, my bad, great actress, Olivia Sui, Julie Campbell, who I know from back in the day, very good actress, and Will Peltz with cameos by ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons, Peyton Manning, and Edgerrin
That
James. What the heck?
cameo is freaking came out of nowhere. I didn't know
Okay.
he was supposed to be in it, and even saying it now probably won't hurt because where he's placed in the cameo is pretty damn good.
Written,
Like Peyton Manning, like you know how like when sports people are in
I love
Saturday Night
sports.
Live,
Yes.
it's Saturday Night Live with guest host Michael Jordan. So this episode's gonna suck. Moving on. Like Peyton Manning's like one of those guys like he can pull that kind of stuff off.
Yeah.
He
He's an
honestly
act.
Peyton Manning needs to be in more things.
Yeah, definitely. It's
And I'm not a Broncos or a Colts fan, so that's coming from me.
I used to love Edgerrin James way back in the day. Edgerrin James, one of the best running backs I've ever seen witness on the football field. He used to be, speaking of Colts, used to be a former Colt and collaborator with Colt legend, Colt and Broncos legend, Peyton Manning. It is written and directed off the record by Kirsten Foe. Sorry, Eric Holmes by Kirsten Foe. In theaters, digital, and on demand May 2nd. I'm going to stop speaking because Eric Holmes has his review of Off the Record.
First of all, before I even get to off the record, on the record, I want this said. Talking about Peyton Manning, we need a buddy cop movie with Peyton Manning and Vernon Davis. Just throwing that out there. Throw all the money at whatever filmmaker you need to and get that going. But on the record or off the record, so this starts off as Rainey Qualley meets or Astor Gray meets Brandyn Verge. Brandyn Verge is like you say a has been rock star. He's a big deal, at least in this world. He's I'm trying to think of he'd be like a Chris Stapleton kind. Not quite Taylor Swift big, but he's pretty big. That sort of thing. And anyway, so
Hmm.
he meets up with Astor Gray, then they hit it off and start dating. And she's like freaking out, like telling her friends and her mom, it's, oh my God, I'm with Brandyn Verge. What? You're dating a rock star? And so everything's kind of all right. And then Brandon starts like throwing sort of red flags. It was like, that's kind of, but then he'll be kind of a dick to Astor. And then the next day I'll just go off like nothing happened. He's just like this nice, sweet, charming guy. And then as the relationship, you kind of see the writing on the wall. The relationship keeps getting worse and worse. And to the point where, and Brandon keeps hanging over Astor's head, like, oh, we're going to record your album. They do that pretty early on. She signs a contract. And so now, as the relationship gets worse and as Brandon's true character shows up, he's got her like she wants out. She didn't want anything to do with him, but he's got like the rights to her music and everything. So he's able to manipulate her in ways
Mhm.
that she wouldn't have allowed otherwise.
So basically, this is the kind of love story that I would like, huh? I'm
A,
kidding. I'm
a,
kidding.
a
I'm kidding.
bad,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. That's a joke. I'm
if
not
you
a
like,
bad person.
yeah, just jump right into it, are we?
Yeah, jump right into it. Why
It's
not?
basically it starts off as like a really nice meet cute. Hey, I'm a nobody and you're famous and we like each other and the things are going great until Brandon Verge starts showing signs of he's not great. He's a jerk. He's not the sort of boyfriend you want. And then puts himself, he basically starts giving Asher these things that she wants. She wants to play music, so he allows her to record an album. You got to sign a contract, but he does it in such a way that he's got control over her now. And he's basically just not a great guy. And as the movie goes on,
Maybe he just
I
really
should
cares about her.
no,
I'm just kidding. I'm
no,
kidding.
not even close.
I'm kidding. Okay.
I'm trying to. I will say that Brandon Verge's character, like I'm dialed into Astor Gray's character. Like I'm watching her throughout this, and she's making excuses for him and whatnot. I'm just like, no, get away from him. He's a terrible guy. But at the same time, he's got control of her music now, so she kind of has to play ball a little bit. And so she basically she's in love and she falls into this trap pretty much. And I just want her to get out of the trap. And I want Brandon to,
Kick rocks.
I want him to get his fingernails pulled up and
That's a great.
salt poured in the wounds.
Oh my goodness.
That doesn't quite happen, but there is a great amount of comeuppance. And there's a really fantastic part towards the end where I'm like, oh, yeah. This thing's like a cheeseburger because it's not the best version of this that could ever be made, but it's incredibly satisfying to watch because it's
Mm.
pretty broad. The filmmaking, like, it's not subtle about what it's trying to say, especially when you get towards the second half,
And
or
that's not so bad,
especially.
right? If it's not subtle, that a,
No, it's because like now you know what game you're playing, what team to root for, that sort of thing.
okay.
But yeah, it started off, oh, this is going to be a love story. Oh, this is a bad love story, and then we just got to watch her. It's going to be a bummer, and then it turned into oh, this has a message to it, and the message is pretty laid out there. But yeah, I
It's a satisfying watch.
I would say if this was just a regular rom com, this would be pretty sappy, pretty by the numbers, and it's got that kind of filmmaking quality to it. But the way it ends up and how the characters like the satisfaction you get watching Rainey Qualley kind of combat Brandyn Verge is so good. Even though cinematically it's not the best, but it just
It's a good
feels so good.
story.
It just feels so good when you see it.
And look, I was throwing shots in this movie. I will say this: the sequence where I saw Rainey Qualley actually perform as a singer-songwriter, I was like, I believed her as a musician, singer-songwriter. How was the music in Off the Record? Was it
The
passable for
music's
you?
really good. There's a
Okay.
ton of needle drops, which I guess people find annoying. I didn't care, but whatever. The music, I think, who does the some of the singing sounds like Dua Lipa, and I really
Okay.
like that. I like Dua Lipa, so I
Okay.
enjoyed the singing. If that was her singing, she's a damn good
I think
singer.
it's Rainey Qualley. I think Qualley's the one who's singing.
Oh, then she's a fantastic singer.
All right. I could
Um,
be wrong because I
yeah.
haven't seen it, but I think she's actually a musician in real life.
And
So,
another thing they do well in this movie is you know how like when someone's supposed like A Star is Born does this well. Like Lady Gaga's character is supposed to be this great singer, and they're supposed to be like great songwriters and whatnot. And then they do Shallow, and I can tell you, Shallow's a hit. I cannot go to one karaoke show where Shallow is not. But this has that same thing. Like Astor Gray's supposed to be this great singer and great songwriter, and then you hear her voice, and her voice sounds amazing, and the songs she's singing are catchy, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Eric Holmes, Rainey Qualley, as a singer-songwriter musician, she goes by the name Rainsford. I'm looking her up on like Rains, like Rains, Ford, Rainsford. That is her
I prefer
music
Chevy,
name.
but whatever.
Oh, okay.
Kidding,
So,
I prefer Nissan.
oh, very good. So, Spotify, she has 122,000 monthly listeners, and she has a new single out as Rainsford called "See Me Cry." So, per you, per your review, Eric Holmes,
Yeah,
you
that was the See Me Cry. That was the last song they played just before the credits.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Oh
So,
yes, yeah. Spoiler alert: the singer in the movie sings
spoiler alert.
songs.
So it's okay. So that's actually added value for you, Eric. Just looking back, that hey, it's actually her doing the stuff. So not bad, huh? Not
Yeah,
bad for off the record.
I mean, you never know. It seemed like she could have been the one singing, but I didn't know for sure. I
And
swear to God, at one point I thought it was Dua Lipa, but yeah, she's.
and I want to apologize to Eric Holmes. I took him to task for actually watching off the record instead of Rosario. We're gonna get to Rosario in a second. And I apologize, Eric Holmes. Your final thoughts and rating on Off the Record, which seems, by the way, very value added. It's in theaters, digital, and on demand May 2nd.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't give it a star rating, did I?
Yeah, star rating and final
Oh,
comments.
6.9 on this one.
6.9 stars because
It's
what?
very, so the filmmaking very basic, but the amount of, and even the storytelling is, look, it's not reinventing the wheel.
You said cheeseburger. It's a
That
6.9 star
definitely a
cheese.
well-made cheeseburger, but it's like a McDonald's cheeseburger. It's not like a good cheeseburger, but tastes pretty good. And the satisfaction you get in the last half or the last third of this movie is so good. I love this movie.
Wow,
And
6.9
that goes
stars.
on the record.
That goes on the record. And Eric Holmes, who I'm sure deep down inside, he's such a great guy. He hates when I censor him and say it's actually 5 stars, but it's actually 6.9 stars for Eric Holmes for Off the Record. Rainey Qualley. Check her out as Rainsford. Check out.
Actually, I probably should have went 3-star banger on this because
No, this
I know some people are going to watch this and they're going to roll their eyes at some of the kind of,
we're gonna keep you at the
stuff
high
they
rating.
do.
This is an Eric Holmes top notch.
I was so dialed into this
Oh,
movie,
so good.
and I hated Brandyn Verge so much
Yes.
that when they finally got to the comeuppance, I'm like, oh, it feels so good.
If you
Get in there, Astor. It's a family show.
Oh, by the way, yeah, okay. So that is Off the Record. By the way, secret Off the Record. I did watch Off the Record, and I felt that Astor Grey was actually gaslighting Brandyn Verge, but we're not gonna. Yeah, I'm also a sociopath. But so that's moving forward. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's funny that a podcaster would say that because that scene is also in the movie.
Oh my goodness. Okay, look, Eric Holmes. My apologies to you again. I'm going to watch Off the Record, and I apologize most importantly to filmmaker Kirsten Foe. I'm gonna come back with a rewind next week on this movie. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.